Hey, Amy. All right. Hey, Bernadette.
I was like, why would nobody
Hello.
tell me, hey, I didn't realize I was muted.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good.
Just running around, like crazy.
Yeah.
We got volleyball tryouts, so this week it's every day, and then they do cuts like each day. I'm like, this is a whole new world for us.
Yeah.
How old are the kids?
13. They just turned 13 the second of last month, so
'Cause those cuts, so I'm sure they're rough.
yeah, she'll be getting ready to go into eighth grade, so they're preparing for next school season in August. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Asia, Erica, hello, hello. T's coming on. All right. Everybody's rolling. I had to read a summary of this again to refresh my memory because I know it's sad. I read it like 2 weeks ago and there's just so much that has happened. I was like, I need to
I
refresh my
I
mind.
read this in 2023, so you know I need a refresher. And
Very
yeah, and I had so many books I had to read. I was like, nope.
good.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Pepper.
Happy Teacher Appreciation Week to my teachers on here.
Thank you.
Welcome. Just give it another second or two before we dive in.
Good evening, ladies, and happy Nurses Week for any
Oh
nurses.
yeah, same to you. Yeah, happy Nurses Week. I
Mhm.
just seen a post about that today. Yes, happy Nurses Week to you. Okay. I'm not sure if anymore. I guess they'll come on if they do. I'll let them on. Let's get this chat going. Here to talk about, I know it's hard to see with my ring light. Jubilee by Margaret Walker. This book was very good. For me, it's been one of those that I've had forever and just needed to read. And I usually push them off because I know at some point they'll probably be a book club pick. But yeah, I'm glad we finally got to it. It was good. What'd y'all think?
I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
It was heavy, but it was good.
Very heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Heavy. But it made you so mad, but it was good.
Yeah, there's just so many things.
I like the book. I like books like this because so often when we read books, especially that take place back in slave time, the women, the white women are always like so nurturing of the slaves, like, oh, let me protect, not necessarily protect them, but ooh, this like, ooh, I wanted to fight her.
Big
So
Missy.
it's
I was ready to fight
yeah,
Big
yeah.
Missy.
Um, and it's funny that you say that because Asia mentioned they were her property. And if you read that, it'll give you a whole different perception of white women during those times and actually how much they were running things. And you see a totally different side, man. A lot of the things and decisions that you think the men are making, they're really behind the scenes, just doing running stuff.
Yeah, I
So
just put that on my lid because I was like, I gotta read that.
yeah, I know
Had depicted before, so I knew that the women they run just like you think about how your mama runs. If your parents are together, your mama
yep,
runs the house. You refer to
yep,
it as your mama's house, even if your parents live there together. At least
yeah,
I know I do. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to my mama's house. Daddy sitting right there.
True.
right.
That's true.
So I knew that they, had such influence. And because most of them knew that their husbands was messing with them slaves.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they
Jealousy. Mhm.
Yeah, so they were constantly in a state of annoyance and hatred towards, the women, especially the women, because
Yeah.
they knew what was going on.
Yeah, and especially with, like, situations like this where your husband's kids are part slave and they're running around looking exactly like your daughter, and it's just like, this is smacking you in the face every chance you get, like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, remember when her
So
friends came
spiteful
over and they
too.
were saying how the daughter like looked like her, like they
Yeah,
could be twins. Like,
Oh,
yep.
yeah, yep, yep.
yeah,
She was almost, like, white passing too, so it was
right.
like yeah.
But that's well. mm.
Go ahead, Jess.
I'm trying to formulate my thoughts. Like you're benefiting from this, so why you mad?
Right.
Like it's
Someone cooking and
creating
cleaning, right.
more slaves to take care of you.
Good.
Why you mad?
Right,
You
right.
want to do something about it? Then be on the other side. But while you
And
benefiting from it, I don't feel like you had anything to say.
And I just wanna, like, make sure I'm not confusing stories because I read a lot like this. She stopped sleeping with him, right? After she gave him the second child or something like that anyway, so
Yes, she
just wanna
did.
make sure I wasn't making that up from another story, but yeah, so it's like and then you add that into the story, it's like, what did you expect him to do?
Mhm.
Humans have needs, you know what I'm saying? So
I'm trying to remember, did her people, because not every white person had slaves because they couldn't necessarily afford it. Did it say that her people had slaves?
that's a good
I
question.
I remember her sister
Right.
not being married to a landowner or a slave
Yes,
owner,
because
but
that's
I can't remember if they came from. I would assume not if her sister ended up marrying somebody who didn't. I don't
Yeah.
know if they ever said
yeah.
that though.
I was wondering that because why would you be shocked necessarily about what your
Mhm.
husband is doing if if you came from a family that had
Right, right.
slave
So
on?
what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I was just
Seems like
wondering.
she's on the come up, and this is her first experience with
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, I felt like the fact that her sister married down probably meant they were already down and she
Mhm.
married up.
yeah,
Because
probably.
I would see that back then not being a thing. Like you can't marry somebody who got less than we got.
Yeah, that's true. Hmm.
But I don't know if they ever said it.
Yeah, in the recap I read, it talked about his sister and how she came after he passed away, and then she didn't really have money, but that wasn't it, they didn't talk about
Oh, maybe
like
that's what I'm thinking about. I thought that was her sister. That was his
Lucy?
sister.
that's what
I
the
thought
recap said.
Okay.
okay.
Maybe that's who I was thinking about. But that seems odd too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah, and mind you, these things might not always be,
yeah,
the greatest, but yeah, it was a lot going on, and then for her to get a husband, only for him to leave and to be gone for so long like that, and just think that she's just gonna wait for you while you're this free man that's out there living this life, and then you come back for her and it's like, I'm not leaving my kids, and she did the right thing because I'm not leaving my
yeah,
kids either. It's like all or nothing, and so I was kind of glad that she got a second chance at love. I think Ennis, I think his name was really stepped up and provided for her and her kids. And then they just had some unfortunate situations after like leaving the plantation. The first one gets wiped away because of the land that they're living on, and then the second one gets burned down by the clan. And I'm like, oh, y'all just can't
I know.
win.
I was like, this lady can't catch a break at all.
It's
Like,
like
oh
you
my
done lived through
gosh.
slavery, through all of these deaths of
Yeah.
and the people closest to you at the plantation, and then your father dies, and you're watching all these people die in war, and then your husband comes, and then he leaves, and it's just it's a lot. It's a lot of trauma. Um,
yeah,
just keeps piling on over and over and over again. And I like commended her for staying with him, like even when at
Yeah, I
first
thought
I
she was gonna leave. I was nervous. I
me
was like, oh,
too. I
Randall's
was
back.
like,
I was like, I don't know.
curiosity kills the cat, right? So it's
Yep.
like she's, they didn't really have time to really form a marriage and be together for a long period of time. So like I was thinking maybe she's just gonna be curious and see you know, if that's her true love or whatever, and go with
Yeah.
him. But he made the right decision. I'm like, he's the one who stuck by you, taking care of your kids, provided for you, helped, you know, tried to build a life with you. I think she did the right thing.
Yeah, I think if she wasn't pregnant, it would have been an even harder decision because she was pregnant for her current husband at the
Yeah.
time.
But I think their lives took a different turn too, because he became kind of wasn't he going to do something with the Senate or something? I can't remember exactly, but it's like
Oh, Randall, right?
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know if they would have meshed, with the role that he was going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Any other? Go ahead.
While I was reading this, it made me so I don't have a problem with reading slave narratives or whatever you want to call it, but it definitely made me irritated with white people like I always get when I read.
Really, right?
Sorry, I know you're gonna post this, but I'm sorry, Renee.
No, you're no, speak away. That's okay.
Because the proof is right there as to why we feel the way that we feel as Black people towards America, towards them. Every comment that they make about why, it's been XYZ, you should be at a certain status or you shouldn't feel like you're being held back. And it's like the proof of what y'all do is in a book if you read it.
Right.
Like
Just get over it.
I feel like we should get over it. Exactly.
Mhm.
That's-
the just get over it pisses me off because you want me to just get over that?
Yeah.
And it was that one scene too when I guess once they told them they were free, and then they had the former enslaved lady that had all this stuff. And they're like, "Where'd you get all this stuff?" She's like, "I paid for this." And they're like, "How'd you pay for this?" She said, "I work for this stuff. This is mine."
That's
You know,
right.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah.
they were emancipated with nothing.
Right.
And then went into a whole new system of slavery, which she did a great job of describing that sharecropping.
She did.
Yeah.
And you owe the store, you owe the rent, you owe all of this, and so you can't pay me enough, and
And
so you just are back in servitude to me all over.
And that's what it was, another form of slavery.
It was another
Right.
form of
Yeah.
slavery.
and then
then
they
when
didn't pick up anything. Like he said, yeah, you bought this feed for me. What? I
I
never
know.
bought
I'm
feed
reading. I'm like, wait a minute. I said, did I skip a part? Because I don't
Right.
remember that happening. Like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
because they were
Terrible.
so intentional because Viri knew. Somehow she knew. She was like, we're not getting nothing from them because
Mhm.
we will always be indebted to
Yeah.
these people. So yeah, that pissed me off.
Mhm. But it trickles down into today. Like if you haven't been able to pass land and all these other things down for generations, you're starting literally from the bottom.
Mhm.
And trying over and over again. I mentioned before, I think my great grandfather was a sharecropper, signed his name with an X, moved to Baton Rouge so his daughters could walk to Southern University, and then the interstate took that house.
Wow.
And then he moved, so it's like you start with all of these things and you keep being just kind of like in the book, like every time you think you're getting a little better with something, and they're not gonna give you the value of your home.
Yeah.
So it's like, so what does he have to leave for his 11 children?
Right.
And on down the line, like they're all just starting from scratch all over again.
And in the meantime, while you're trying to make your way up the mountain, you got them pushing you down the whole way.
Mhm. Oh, let me add that great grandfather's father was white, but he didn't get any of the benefit of that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
He didn't
learned
get any benefit of that.
Just as Viri got no benefit. The
Nope.
same thing.
Did not.
yeah,
Did not.
like literally nothing. All of them died and nothing was left to her.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
At least her sister called her sister at some point in time.
Yeah.
But
Julian.
But she
But
wasn't right in the head, so that's why.
Right. Yeah.
she wasn't.
She was
If she
traumatized.
had her good sense, she would have been acting just like her mama.
Mhm.
Of her mama and how she acted during the war how she thought about her or thought of her son-in-law, it was so MAGA. It was like racist
Exactly.
about these MAGA people. I was like, oh my
Absolutely.
God.
Yeah.
The brainwashing, wild. Wild.
Yeah, she was crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
Play, man.
Ugh, so many thoughts.
I know.
Conversation.
It is. You just see so many, and this is why I enjoy reading stuff like this. Is just because you see the similarities of like then and now, and still how they try to keep us down.
That you haven't come that far from way back then.
Right.
I live in a predominantly white city, and a few weeks ago someone made a post about celebrating the Confederate Memorial Holiday, and I'm like,
Oh Lord.
April, that no longer is a government holiday for us, Amy.
yes, thank God. And so
May
in the
10th.
post, like, he's like, this isn't about racism. It's not about hate. It's about whatever they said it was about. But the thing that caught me, because some people lost their farms and their houses, and I'm thinking to myself, really, nigga? Really? Really? Because that's what came to mind. I'm sorry. I
Yeah,
forgot this, but it made me so mad. And I used to go back and forth with these people, but I'm like, nope, not doing it. But they still had that mindset, like, what was the Confederate War? What was it really about?
Right.
Y'all, they made me so mad.
Celebrating your L. Like, I don't understand. You
A
celebrating your
big loss. Big loss.
right.
I don't know. But that's their thought process that still to this day.
I gotta find this book, but there's a book that's really good that talks about, the cult of the lost cause and when they really started with all of these monuments and stuff. And it wasn't right after the Civil War. Like this was, some of these people weren't even alive when it happened. The Daughters of the Confederacy and all. I gotta find it. It was good.
I like the part when she became like the granny to the black granny, and the lady's white mother was like, "Oh, you need to let her be your color nanny granny because they take care of babies so well." And it's like you're acknowledging that y'all don't do anything.
All right.
It's like they're the best at taking care of babies, and it's like we are, but really,
Yeah, even to the point of slaves breastfeeding their babies like that. It's
Which
a wild.
was
Wild.
it's crazy.
While
Yeah,
your baby cries to be fed.
right.
You think they think that Black people are nasty, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. But you're literally letting your child latch onto that nasty woman's breast.
Right.
Are you crazy?
Right.
I mean, you are, but
But yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, yeah, they are crazy. So yeah.
It was a whole you're nasty, but I'm cooking all of your food. I used to tell my grandmother I would have been putting all kind of stuff. They would have been eating and drinking all kinds of things.
Right. Everybody would have had food poisoning. Everybody's sick.
And you would be dead. And you would be dead because they had doctors and stuff, then they would have known what was going on. You could do little bits at a time, but
Well, I
and get
wouldn't have
away
wanted
with it.
them poison. They just been eating nasty stuff.
It would have
Oh,
been
okay.
as many
Okay.
pies.
or just staying on the toilet forever.
Oh, I'm
Right,
sure
exactly.
they did. Ta-Nehisi Coates kind of talked about that when he
Yeah.
when he wrote The Water Dancer, that we didn't have autopsies and stuff like that back then, so people would just die and they didn't know why they died, and there's no telling what.
And we're so good
people
with like
did.
natural healing and herbs and things like that too. I was like, you probably could find some type of poison and just
They
put it
knew
in.
those herbs and berries, and
Yep.
just like Big Missy was giving that girl the stuff to make sure she wouldn't
Oh
eat
yeah,
jellies
but
and
that
jam.
was when I read that, I was like, that is insane. Like,
It's
what is
awful.
wrong with people?
It's awful.
Wasn't it a book we just read recently? Excuse my daughter in the background. I don't know what she laughing at. Where the slave was mixing stuff to help people, or maybe I read it independently because she was helping them to not have the babies or something.
yes,
Oh my
Nicole. And
God.
I was just thinking that same thing, but I cannot remember what book it was.
Did you guys read The Conjurer?
It wasn't
No,
that.
yeah,
No.
yeah.
I felt like there was something similar to that. that happened in that book. What about Junie? Or what is it? Yeah, is it Junie?
Junie. Oh,
A bunch
Junie.
of read that too.
But
I
there
have-
was one where they were trying to make sure that they didn't have the. Oh, what was that?
Was it
Don't
Junie?
drive me
Yeah,
crazy. It
because
wasn't
I
Julie.
feel like the person got pregnant and she was like, but I have stuff for that and why and how. Oh gosh, I can't remember what that was.
It's gonna drive me crazy. We read it last year. We did not read it
I'm
this year.
scrolling
Yeah.
down
Last year?
right now.
It was a book club selection?
I think we just all read
It's
it.
something that we read. Look, now I'm gonna have to go through my Goodreads and see.
Don't drive me
'Cause
crazy.
that does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Because when I read books, I try to connect them because I thought about, I don't know if anybody's read When the Reckoning Comes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
No.
I read that.
That was
Was
a
that
good one.
good? Was that
Oh,
good?
Yes.
yeah,
I liked it. Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
Look, I'm going
I'm
through my book.
scrolling
Yeah,
down.
me too. I don't know what book that I've definitely. Oh, was it the American Daughters? Did y'all read that? We
No,
didn't read
I
it.
haven't
together.
read
I read American Daughters. I don't remember if it was that though. It may have been.
There's been a bunch of books I read. That
Right, I
probably.
was like,
It was for sure last. I'm almost certain it was last year.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. But I thought that right before you said that, Nicole, I was thinking the same thing.
No, I'm trying to find this other book.
I did read The American Daughters. Apparently,
Maybe it was that.
Maybe it was because I read that one too.
It might have been that one.
I think it
I
was
didn't
that.
read that
in
one, but
September.
I feel like I remember.
Yeah, it may have been that one. Okay.
Interesting. Something we read. Look. Any other general thoughts?
In the Shadow of Statutes. No, oh wait, no, that's my boss's book. But that's a good one too, though. But that wasn't it. Wait, there's another one. Shoot. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the other part.
You know, I will say, I've always tried to avoid reading like slave fictions up until like after I joined the book club. That's when I started reading more historical fiction because I've always been like a romance urban girl. But the last couple of books I've read have been so good, and they always make me want to like do more deep dives. Because after y'all talked about, oh my God, I just read, I got too many in my head. Queen of Sugar Hill. Then I went on a deep dive about Hattie McDaniel. When I read The Yellow Wife, when we did Yellow Wife, and then what's the sequel to Yellow Wife, or was not necessarily a sequel, House of E. Then I went down this whole path, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love them. And so now I have like tons of books because every time I see a book that says, oh, it might be like this book, get this one. I'm like, okay, I don't need no more historical fiction on my shelf.
Kelly, that's why I'm so addicted. I love historical fiction. I just love the play on, learning history while you're,
That's
reading
the
something.
plus part. When you always learn. I always learn something I didn't know before.
Yeah.
That's true. Yep, that's true. Because then I start going down a rabbit hole. I'm like, is this true? And then I look it up and I'm like, oh my God, this is true. And then I start reading that. And then I'm like, wait, let me get back to the book.
Yeah. Start reading other books on it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I may revisit They Were Her Property again because I read that forever ago. I was thinking that was the first download I had from Libro FM. I think they used to give us credits, and that was one that because I remember when that book came out, it was like $30 for the hardcover for whatever reason, and they sent me.
It was a university press.
Yes, and it was expensive. So I remember getting a credit, I think, from Libro, and I was like, "Oh, I'm reading this." So it was so good.
And it's look, it's crazy because all the books y'all saying, I'm typing them in Amazon and adding to my cart.
Yeah,
I mean, ridiculous.
Somebody chewed the corner of that book.
Oh
no,
I think it was Bentley back then.
I'm gonna try to revisit that, but I'm gonna have to wait until June because I'm reading that new The Perfect Divorce by Geneva Rose. I just finished The Matriarch like an hour ago, and so I have one more read, but everything else is gonna be dedicated to Black Romance Book Fest. I've got
I need to read some for that.
Did I like the book, The Queen of Sugar Hill?
Yes, I loved it. I get to see her and Victoria Christopher Murray next Wednesday. Yay.
Oh,
nice.
There's another. What is
See them on the 20th.
Yeah.
Nice. They came here for last year. right before my birthday, but it was for. Oh, maybe it was Rashonda. Maybe it was Rashonda Tate. I don't know
And
because it
check.
wasn't Victoria. Did
Mm.
the Queen of Sugar Hill came out last year, like last February?
This maybe it was, yeah, maybe
It
it
was
was
last year.
They did a book like Chat and Gwinnett with one of our thing, and I think it was probably for that book. I didn't have it, I don't think, at the time, or oh yes, I did, because they both signed a book for me. Never mind. I don't know what I'm talking about,
Yeah,
but
it was
it
last
probably,
year.
yeah.
And she was supposed to come to Columbia, and some weather happened, and they never got it rescheduled.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. I did a deep search on ChatGPT because I mentioned to some of y'all, and I'm gonna have to go back to our old church and see if I can find it. But my grandmother like started the sisterhood at our church, and she invited Margaret Walker to come and talk about this book.
Wow. Oh yeah, I think
Wow.
Yeah, Mama just casually mentioned that the other day. Something I said about, she said, "What are y'all reading now?" I was like, "Oh, we're reading Jubilee." She was like, "Oh, you know, Medea brought Margaret Walker to Baton Rouge." I was like, "What?" In that
right.
book?
Like, huh?
Wow.
How did I know this? She's like, "Oh yeah, I've read that book twice. Yeah, she did that back in whatever." And I'm like,
That's so
I
cool.
don't know this. So now, but I asked ChatGPT to do like the deep research and it didn't find anything, but let's see if I can go find, like if they have some old church programs around that time or something that might, we might have a box somewhere that's got it in there. I'll see if I can find that.
There's a couple of other classics that I read, like Uncle Tom's Cabin. I have a couple
I got that too, but I've never got around to reading.
never
It's
read
good.
it. I want
You
to.
read
It's
it.
on my. I haven't read it yet. I have two
Okay.
copies of it, a classic, and then I have a newer version of it. But I was like, those are the one I want to read. That when reading the summary of Jubilee, it was compared to Gone with the Wind, which I also have not read. It just instead it has a white heroine in this is a black heroine, so it's often compared to Gone with the Wind. So,
You should read Alice Randall's The Wind Done Gone.
The Wind
The
Done Gone.
Wind Done Gone.
Alice Randall, who wrote My Black Country, she wrote a novel called The Wind Done Gone from the Black perspective.
Okay.
So it's Gone with the Wind from the Black perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, The Wind Done Gone.
Where is my book list? Okay.
I would say skip Gone with the Wind, but if you want to just read it, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and that's another reason why I still haven't read like Huckleberry Finn either, is because like I've read James, but I'm just curious because I want to see what the original like.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, how's the original?
And I really want to read it just for that, just so I can say, and then I'm probably gonna read James at some point because I love that book so much in my life.
Did y'all hear how it won?
Yeah.
But it did not outright win.
Really?
It won because the
Haven't
top
heard the
3
whole
books
story.
couldn't get a consensus. And so however the scoring system works, it was like the next up, but it was not one of the top 3 books. But because the judges could not come to a consensus on the top 3rd book, James became.
Wow.
It should have been the winner anyway, but
Exactly.
yeah.
Did they list what the other books were?
Yeah, they did. I'd only heard of one of them. Let me see if I can find that.
Done gone. Okay, I got that one written down. Oh, I need to mark some of these off. Yeah, but there's a few classics that I want to read. Of course, we've done Life of a Slave Girl.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we did that as a book club read at some point.
Well, humor is interesting because
sorry.
if I could.
Fine.
One book that's next for me, not a classic, but along the same lines of this history, is A Fever in the Heartland. The Ku Klux Klan's plot to take over America and the woman who stopped them.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Is that is that a nonfiction book?
It is nonfiction.
What's the name of it again?
A Fever in the Heartland is by Timothy Egan.
Oh, yeah. He wrote the Sundown Towns book, didn't he? Is that who that is?
He's written a bunch of nonfictions along the same lines.
I'm looking at his books now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I see it, yeah. The Immortal Irishman, The Big Burn.
We can't do no Irishman sinners. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but you got to, because that was something else I was reading the other day about how the Irish went from being Black Irish to Irish, and how Black people helped them because they were so destitute.
Yeah.
They were bottom of the barrel, and then they came up and became white. But they were never them Italians. There's a whole group of them. Eastern Europeans were not white. They were like another class of Black.
Yep.
Black people helped Irish people out. They were benevolent to them.
Not know that.
I wonder if that's what the Hispanics are trying to do, trying to make, get close to white.
Y'all have recommendations on books about the Holocaust, send them my way too, because that's another subject that I kind of want to dive into. Not the Diary of Anne Frank, I do have that, but I want something that more like really dives into the history of, and not just one person's perspective, if that makes sense.
It's a fiction book. Did you ever read it, The Nightingale?
Yeah.
By
I have that book.
Kristen Hanna. That book is really good.
I
read that not so long ago. That's really good.
We just read that last month in my other book club.
I feel like I have that.
It was good.
Book.
And that's my first one. They talk about how good she is, but that's my first book.
The Women has been recommended by a lot of people. I think I have that too.
Which one is that?
The Women by Kristen Hanna.
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard that was really good.
I had The Nightingale. I seen it's very popular on TikTok. I borrowed it from a coworker, but I wanted to.
Yeah, I think I bought it probably like 2 months ago, and it's still sitting on my bookshelf. I have other things to read. I'm trying to read Ring Shout because I watched Sinners, so now I have to read all the. I got to read all those kind of books now.
That one is. I think I have like 4 days left before it goes back. I need to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one that you posted today is on my list to read. And then what was the one you posted, Asia? That was on sale today. Sorry.
Red Clay.
Red Clay, yeah. I have the hard copy and I have the ebook, but I need to
Excuse me.
up on that. I finally saw Sinners on Saturday.
So good.
Alan haven't even bought it myself. Let me go buy this.
Like,
what did you think of Sinners? Did you like it?
I loved it.
So far, I've seen it twice.
And I'm going again tomorrow for my second showing.
And no spoilers, no spoilers. I hadn't seen it yet.
No, yeah, you're good though.
Spoilers.
It's good. I commend Michael B. Jordan for all the work that he probably put in there.
Was it scary? Because I don't like scary.
There's definitely parts you
you gotta jump. Yeah, definitely.
But it's not the whole. It's not the whole time. But there is a couple in the beginning where you're like, "Oh shit!"
Right.
My mom. I look at my mom. I'm like, "Damn, calm down."
But it's not like Freddy, Jason kind of.
No.
That's not even really scary. I think stuff like Saw.
When you said that, I don't even know what you're talking about because I didn't see none of those movies.
It's so funny because go ahead.
No, I was gonna say they are scary, but it's not like.
Yeah,
I feel like thrillers are scarier to me. Like Scream, somebody calling you and they inside the house, like that kind of stuff is scarier to me than
I saw Easy and I was fine because there's still an episode of Lovecraft that I refuse to watch. Absolutely not. Episode 3. No, I
used to watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre almost every day in college because I love the one with Jessica Alba. I used to watch that every day. I used to collect those, all the Saw movies. Used to see all of those.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Like even though I have seen Scream 100 times, I cannot watch it at night.
Oh man,
Really?
I lines
I've
from
never
that
seen that. Yeah.
I know it too, but I cannot watch it at night. I'm like
my favorite. Yeah.
Are y'all gonna see the new Final Destination?
Now
Yeah.
see, like,
I don't like that.
These scary movies be on some new stuff, right? And there was a lot.
That's too realistic.
I don't know if I can handle these new age scary movies.
I still can't drive behind trucks with logs.
Right? I know. You see that? I'm like, no, I gotta change lanes. I can't do that.
I do. I change poles,
Last week.
logs, ladders, anything. I'm like, I'm getting over because
they played that preview before Sinners, and I'm like, what? And all those people are sitting in the backyard, and there's just all these events like the glass breaks and the piece of glass lands in the ice, and then it's like, who's gonna drink the ice, and then the cup.
Oh gosh.
It's like you just don't know what's gonna happen and how it's gonna end But I'm like, that looks scary to me. Like, I feel like I'll be jumping that whole time watching that.
Mm.
Hmm. I don't know. I'm up in the air if I'm gonna see that, but
Bernadette, I think even with the scariness of it, the rest of it is the scary parts, and it's not the whole thing. It is so deep. You have to see that movie.
Yeah.
You got to get through the scary to get the rest of it.
That sounds scary right there. Talk about you
Yeah,
gotta get
no,
through the
but
scary
it's
to get to the
good. Like
rest
you
of it.
got,
What?
yeah, but you gotta get it. It's so deep. You
It's
gotta get
scary,
it.
it's gory.
Yeah, it's gory.
Not
Like if
gory,
you
it's
ever
scary.
watched True Blood, it's similar to that. The
Girl,
vampires
Bernadette
on
just said she didn't know
HBO.
who Freddie
I
and
watched
Jason
none
were.
of those movies, but you
Oh
didn't
Lord,
somebody just
Bernadette.
describe
Okay,
it
never
as
mind.
gory? Didn't somebody just describe it as gory?
Part,
Yeah, like
not the
Oh
whole thing.
some of
no.
it.
Not the whole thing though. Not the whole movie.
It's just a few scenes where
It's
you're
not
just like, okay.
gratuitously gory.
No.
you can handle it.
Okay. Mm.
Bernadette, go watch
He's
it.
like, I don't believe y'all.
I ain't gonna see that.
You're like,
The gore has a purpose.
Bernadette's like, I'll take y'all's word for it. Oh, that is hilarious.
I think there's a difference in like gratuitous horror, like Saw. Saw is just wow.
Disgusting. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not that. It's
necessary.
not.
Yeah.
It's yeah.
Saw is just like
I love all
how
of that stuff.
outrageous.
I probably have the DVDs, all of them, somewhere upstairs in the closet from Saw. Like 7 of them, I think, or something like that. It's ridiculous. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, see again, and that's probably my cue that I loved like history, because I went on a downward spiral of just like researching the actual killer and where that came from.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he used to dig people up from graves and like skin them and then wear their skin. Like it's just
Yep.
Wasn't Chris Rock in a movie like that? Something like that?
Yeah, Chris Rock was in
Okay,
one.
I started watching it and then I turned away from it and I was like, that's it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Going back to Jubilee really quick.
Yeah, let's go back out subject.
No, but something you said triggered me to remember when the white lady was like, and they say that black men have tails. I'm like,
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They used to say that.
And that what they said that they had tails and 8 white people or something. Wasn't they saying something else crazy?
They were talking to her because they thought she was white, and they were talking about all these myths, and she's like, well, I've never seen a black. And then I think she finally exposed herself as black, didn't she?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Like,
I'm like, the same black men that y'all were enslaving and putting on auction blocks with literally no clothes on.
Right. Yeah.
They got
They
tails.
should have known.
Yeah,
That's-
like where were the tails? Yeah.
That's very true.
Maybe that's something crazy they told the women.
Maybe to turn them off so they didn't want the black man. Maybe
They wanted to make us as dangerous as possible.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever they could do to tarnish us is what they were gonna do.
It's true.
But what was funny was when the husband came home and was like, I told you not to tell that there was a secret or something. It was supposed to be between us. Foolishness.
Oh, that was foolish.
Well, I didn't read the book and I don't watch movies. So for the past 40 minutes, I don't know what y'all been talking about, but I'm here.
Appreciate you, Erica.
Y'all know I'm not reading no slave books.
Or
no Holocaust books. I'm from Pittsburgh. We celebrated every Jewish holiday. Jewish culture is huge there. So this stuff is stuff that I've learned all my life.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not reading no Holocaust books neither.
Yeah. And see, that's for me, it's very different. I didn't grow up like that, learning, especially in Gwinnett, like not learning about history, our own history, especially. So it's kind of, since I've started reading the past 7-8 years, it's just been a mission to like learn more about our history and other people's history, because it just was kind of brushed over in high school and
And I got it and I can't get enough of it. So I'm in the middle.
So I like those books. I like books from that period of time, like the 1940s, whether it was in France or Poland or whatever. I just enjoy those books. And I do like the slave narrative books. The people went through it, so I feel like I can read it.
Yeah.
Certainly they went through it, and so it's not rough for me to get through it, but there's so much more to us. And that's my struggle with it, is that so many people identify Black history started with slavery, and that's not where our history started. But again, because I have been exposed to it, and it's always been important to me to know my history. At this point in my life, I read strictly for pleasure. I read to escape. I read for fun, and shit like that is not fun. I'd be ready to fight everybody.
And it's so
So
crazy
I just don't read it.
I'll be like, that book was so good. I'm like, I mean, it wasn't good, but I do enjoy it. I don't
Right.
know
Like
why.
you know, sometimes as true readers, we love when a book destroys us.
Yeah.
Like there are certain books where it rips
That's
my
like the
heart out. And
best
I'm like,
one.
oh my gosh, that was so good. Like I saw somebody, I think on TikTok, she gave The Darkest Child like 2 stars. And she talked about how heavy it was. And I said, well, I've read it twice. And it destroyed me both times. And I loved it. Like ripped my heart out again. Or
Did you read Perfect Peace?
I've read that 3 times and I'm getting ready to read it again. So, you know, I get it, but it, you know, there's just some things that I'm just like, this ain't me. But like I said before, the more I read, the more that I narrow down what I do like and what I don't like. You know, like even like me being a romance girly, I've discovered that I absolutely hate a 3rd act breakup. Like, why are y'all breaking up at the end of the book? What's the point? So like, you know, the more I read, I just have really, really narrowed down what works for me and what doesn't. And so there's just something that I'm just like, nah, that just doesn't work for me.
And like Erica just said, I agree with that. Cause like when I grew up, my dad was really into like the Black Panthers or whatever. So I was exposed to it as a kid, but I don't think like I dug deep enough into it. And so like I get what you like how you said, like when you've been exposed to it, you really don't want to read about it because you're like, oh, I know what that is, what it is. But lately, I don't know, I've wanted to read more about them. And so like I just finished A Taste of Power. And I was just like reading it, and some of the thoughts that I had about some of the members of the party, I'm kind of like, oh, shoot, he was crazy. Like, wait a minute. So that's why sometimes I go a little bit into him. But I agree with you with the Holocaust. Oh, that was beat into us over and over again here because we had, like you, we have a large Jewish community. Well, we did here in Milwaukee at one point. And it was like, okay, I don't want to read no more. I don't want to read no more.
Yeah, we were forced. Like I said, we got Jewish holidays off, like Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah. Those were guaranteed days off at school for us. So, and I went to magnet school, so I ended up in schools where it would sometimes be like half the school was Jewish. So we would get more of that than Black history sometimes.
Oh,
but that's Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's very racist.
I've recognized more and more now that because I give more and more 5 stars, and I'm like, I just like the books. I just like reading. Like, and then I'll look at it later. I'm like, that was that book really a 5? But you just had such a good experience reading it. You gave it a 5 because it was just, it broke you down. It made you laugh. It's what I have started to really say, okay, I need to change my rating system because I'm giving way too all these books got me 5.
All of my books be 4s and 5s. It's 4s and 5s.
Because I think for me, if it's a 3 or less, I'm probably not gonna finish reading it, so you're not gonna get a rating. So I'm like,
sometimes I hate reading just so I can.
Just cause you give some good 2s and 1s.
Yeah, I'll give a 2 in a minute.
I'm not gonna make
it. And tell us why. I love those reviews.
Write my review.
I do like your reviews,
but you know, if it's a Black indie author, I won't give a rating or a review.
Yeah,
because I don't want to discourage people from reading their work.
Yeah.
But if it's a Frida McFadden, I'm gonna eat her up every time. This is so funny. One of my reading goals this year is I'm not letting Frida piss me off this year. So I'm refusing to read any Frida for 2025.
I know, and she just came out
with I hate her. Yes.
Somebody said, girl,
she's so ridiculous.
This is trash. I saw somebody post that about her most recently.
It's like she's like playing in our face. Like she's not even being serious anymore. It's like, girl, I can't. I'm not. She is not gonna piss me off anymore.
Cranks out a book like how do you even have time to like put thought and into this?
But right, and she doesn't. Frida, her books remind me of The Shy. Like they just keep finding new ways to piss me off.
Oh, you ready, Erica, to get pissed off? They start in a week.
So mad because now they got all these characters we don't know. Like what is this show? But I'm gonna watch it.
And we're gonna need your reviews. We're gonna need them.
Yes, I will have my weekly recap of The Shy.
I need to finish School
study time on Zoom. You need to finish what?
the last season. I don't think
Oh yeah, you definitely have to. Go ahead and get pissed off with us.
Yeah,
Because they gonna make you mad.
I've never read any of the Freedom McFadden books. I just always hear people talking about them. And this month, when I downloaded when I went to the first reads, one of her, it was a little book. It was
short story.
free. So I just said I'll read it. I'll read that one.
She does have
for me,
2 or
but
3 that I like.
She had
yeah,
3
it's
that
not
you.
punishment for me until I just read Brain Damage in March, and that was good.
Yeah,
It was
she
good.
has a couple that I didn't hate, but her later books are like, girl, what are you doing? Like she just goes too far. But the one book, Never Lie,
That's good.
I really enjoyed that one.
That's my favorite.
If I were gonna recommend a Freedom McFadden book, it would be Never Lie.
Yeah, I think you would like that one, Bernadette.
Never lied.
Never Lie.
Oh, Never Lie. Okay.
It has a really good plot twist.
Okay.
And I like, for me, because I do read a lot of thrillers, if I can't guess the bad guy or the motive, then for me it's a good experience.
Well, I never ever. That's why I don't care that much for mysteries, because I never ever get it right what's gonna happen. Never, until the end. When they tell me what happened, then I know what happened.
But see, if I could guess it, then I feel like that wasn't a good mystery. I'd be mad. When you see me give a 2-star, it's because I figured out who the bad guy was in the 3rd chapter. Then I'm mad. Like, why you make it so obvious? But if it's to the last page and I'm like, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Right. And
I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how Gone Girl was for me. I was like, wait, what? I mean, it wasn't at the end, but when it
I
flipped.
still haven't finished that. I mean, I started it, but years ago, but I didn't make it very far.
I think that was one of the first, because I was so literary fiction for a long time. And I read that one. And then I went down like the Gillian Flynn rabbit hole. I read everything.
Yeah, I tried to read it before I like really got back into reading. I feel like if I tried it now, I could probably knock it out. But it's been years, and it was like if it didn't grab me right away, I just would put books down. Like I didn't read a lot prior to 2017 when Renee started the group. It had been years since I had been like such an avid reader. This lady commented on my TikTok, a random stranger, the other day. I posted my monthly recap, and she was like, something like, it would be nice if I had the time or something. But almost like it felt snarky to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, girl, if it's important to you, you'll make the time.
Right.
Like, what you mean? And I said to her, I don't watch TV. And that normally shuts people up because I'm like, you say you don't have time, but you're watching TV. It's the same thing. I'm getting the story. I'm just getting it in a different format.
Right.
That's funny. Like, it's funny. I get that with reading too. And then like when I first got my Peloton, like people just think Pelotons are just like these huge expensive things. And I'm like, you can buy it with a monthly plan, with no what am I saying? No interest or anything like that. It's interest free. And so people just automatically think you have like all this money or whatever. And I'm like, no, if you just stop eating out like once or twice a month, you can afford a Peloton too.
Yeah.
It's really not that serious. Like it's really not that inexpensive, but there's choices you have to make. Same way with reading. Like you have to find the time. Instead of watching TV for 7 hours a day, pick up a book.
I saw a listing for a house that's for sale here. It's a $12 million crazy house with a bowling alley. And they showed the gym, and I was like, they don't even have a Peloton. Like, y'all can get a Peloton.
Whack,
right? Some random hotel brand, bike and tread and stuff. I was like, I don't even have a Peloton.
Like your bike has a backrest. What?
Yeah, you could get a bike. You could get a Peloton. Y'all got a $12 million house with a bowling alley. You could get a Peloton.
Peloton on there, right? You can even get a refurbished. You can go to Sam's and get one.
Somebody said to me the other day, like I posted something, I think it was on World Book Day, and she commented, she sent me a DM. She was like, you'd be appalled to know the last time I read a book. I was like, no, I wouldn't. That ain't what you do. Like, That's on you. I
don't care. Ain't nobody checking for y'all. If y'all want
She
to
was
be
like, she was like, well, I'm self-diagnosed ADD. I said, no, I am doctor-diagnosed ADD. That ain't got nothing to do with it. You could read a book if you really wanted
Right.
to.
That's if they want to. A lot of people just have no desire to read.
But to say I'm not going to be appalled
I
at you
know.
because this is what I do.
Right. It's my hobby. In the same way that someone wants to play, baseball or go bowling or whatever, reading is what we like to do. Like,
Right.
Now, if you instead said to me, "Ooh, girl, I don't know how you sit there and read all those books," then I'm gonna be appalled.
right.
But I don't care. Maybe that's why I post them, because maybe it might convince you one day to pick one up.
I had somebody come for me on Instagram when I posted my ebook deals for my storefront or whatever. And she was like, instead of supporting, Amazon, blah, 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 giving the whole spiel. And I get that, right? But I'm like, you clearly don't follow my page or you don't engage. You just engage with this post in particular. But I was like, looked at my post from yesterday. I posted a whole independent bookstore and raved about that and gave options. Anytime I do book club, I give everybody options. You want ebooks, you want audio, you want paperback, whatever. I give y'all options. Like,
But even if you don't, grown people know that there are plenty of stores that sell books. Pick
that part, they can
one.
buy from wherever they want to. And like for me, I'm just too invested in the Kindle. Like I'm on probably my 5th Kindle. I have thousands of books that I've already bought. It's gonna be very hard for me to give up that platform as far as reading is
Right.
concerned. It's convenient and cheap. Like it just works.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
and
y'all would be
we
proud
all
of
take
me.
our own stance.
And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
go to the independent bookstore and go give them $30 every other month or once a month.
And and that's the thing. And I know like bookshop.org now does ebooks and stuff like that, but like I don't really read physical books. The only reason that I actually have them is because a publisher is sending them to me for free, or I'm buying them to take a picture of it for book club. Those are the only 2 reasons. I can't tell you the last time I've read a physical book. So ebooks just work for me. But when I did go to the independent bookstore, I still bought something. I bought a mug or whatever, something that will support them. But I'm like, it's not for everybody.
No, but on National Book Day, they asked each teacher at my school like to post your library or whatever. So y'all will be proud of me because I posted my library and 3 coworkers said, "Can I borrow a book?" And I said, "No, you cannot."
See, that's why we laughed when you said you borrowed a book from your coworker, because Nicole does not have success with that.
I borrowed her book and it's still sitting on my shelf right now.
Oh, I will say, if I noticed it today, I hope I'm not giving away their
did we
secret.
lose Renee?
But I commented
There
on
she goes.
I commented on a Baldwin and Company post, and they sent me a code for 15% off of their merch. So if y'all want some Baldwin,
yes, because I love
merch,
Baldwin. I need to go
comment on one of their posts, and they'll.
Go on Saturday. Yeah,
Oh, wait, you gonna be there Saturday?
I said I might.
No, I'm gonna be down there. I'll meet Mama Tina Saturday.
Oh, you are? That's Saturday?
That's Saturday.
Who's
Girl, you better not come to my city and not tell me you're down there.
Yes, who's your host again?
Tamron Hall.
Okay. Now I have a great appreciation for Tyler because she's mentioned him in the book a few times or whatever. So I'm slick nervous. I spent all day trying to figure out an outfit because I'm like, you can't go.
Oh, I'm going to shop.
you can't go see Miss Tina Knowles, like
right in my Old Navy. No, I'm going to Zara.
Because Miss Tina put that shit on.
Now I'm not gonna look like Miss Tina, but
she don't ever look.
I might contour a little bit and.
She had them sheer cutouts on the side for that Houston event. I said, look at Mama Tina. Ooh, it was funny. And then she had Matthew on.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
I saw that.
Her memoir was so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Read it already?
Yeah, because I'm supposed to go she comes to Atlanta tomorrow for her book tour, so I had to read it.
Oh, okay.
In advance, so we get to meet her tomorrow. So yeah, I made the choice to that's why I was like, I don't remember what Jubilee, because I've read so many things, but yeah, I get to meet her tomorrow. I was like stressing about the outfit. So I kind of took something that I had for Black Romance Book Fest and did something with it. So I'm like, I might have to find another outfit for that for Saturday.
Yeah, I jumped into the book because I was so shocked that Libby released it. Like it said I was like months down the line, and then like 2 days later they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, it's your
And then
turn."
they
I was like, "I
bought
better
100
read it
copies. Yeah,
now."
that was me too. And then they bought 100 copies, and it was like, oh, here you go. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was so good.
Does anybody have Amazon Prime?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're allowing you to take one audiobook out a month.
Oh.
Really?
They're allowing you to take, so that's the book I chose for this month was The Matriarch.
Amazon Music.
Oh yeah, I think it is Amazon Music. If you have that, in
But you
your,
get that with Prime,
Amazon.
don't you? Don't you get on Prime?
I don't know.
No,
It's separate.
let me.
You get like
Okay.
that. You get kind of like a, I don't want
Free
to say
version of it.
Yeah, you get a different version of
And then if you get the
Amazon Music.
premium, yeah. Because that's what I have with Spotify. Like I have Spotify Premium, so I get that one book a month.
Well, you know, I got the welfare Amazon Prime. I use that pandemic EBT card to pay $6.50 a month, so I probably don't get nothing.
I'm on pins and needles over here because like we're in the middle of volleyball tryouts right now, and so they post like a post to Instagram with the numbers for the callback.
Girl, you
And
know she got it.
no, but like, so no, I'm not even being funny, but two of her friends who are super athletic that she's played softball with and were even on the team last year, their numbers are missing. So like I'm freaking out because they should be for sure, like they even might make the A team, you know what I'm saying? So there's no reason that their numbers should be missing at all. And they've posted the fifth graders, which will be rising sixth graders. They've posted the current sixth graders, but their seventh grade is the only one that's missing. And I'm like, why wouldn't you like wait until you had all of them ready to go ahead and post it? And now it's been 27 minutes and I'm just over here like refreshing like this. And I'm just refreshing because I'm on pins and needles right now. Like this is, she's only been playing volleyball for 5 months. Like I'm on pins and needles to make sure,
That's how Leah was Monday because she knew they were announcing it, but she didn't go to school Monday because she had a dental appointment. So she's like texting her friends like, "Did they post? Did they post?" And I don't know why they didn't post till like 11:30 that night. Now, of course, I knew that she got picked the week before, but the coach asked me not to tell her. And she kept saying like, "I know I'm gonna make it," but I think a part of her thought because she hadn't cheered in a while, she might get booted down to JV, and she was would have been embarrassed. But she was going crazy all day. She kept coming to my room saying, "They still haven't told us."
Why
so I was
do
so
that
glad
to
when they
children?
Yeah, and I'm like, why would y'all post at 11:30 at night? And then they posted JV much earlier, like 3 or 4 hours earlier.
Well,
I mean,
our first day on Monday, they did the same thing, like the little sheet of paper where it told you to follow their Instagram and their, Facebook for updates. It said it would be posted within 2 hours of trials ending, which was at 6. At 9:50, I'm over here damn near trying to fall asleep, still waiting for the post. I'm like, y'all shouldn't have put a time limit on it because I'm tired. Like,
but even if there's just a number or whatever, like people can figure stuff out because those children told somebody their number or I'm like,
Yeah, Leah had hers pinned on her shirt.
yeah,
That day I took that video.
Make the whole world who people don't even,
yeah.
That was always funny to me about the bar exam that you used a pseudonym for the exam. Mine was Claire Huxtable. They posted your real name if you passed. They posted your pseudonym if you didn't pass.
Oh wow!
Well, if your real name ain't on the list, clearly somebody knows you didn't pass.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's the point? It was so silly to me.
You made the A team. Oh my God, they posted the whole thing.
I told you we knew she made it.
But it wasn't supposed to like they weren't supposed to. Tryouts are still tomorrow. They posted the finalized. Oh my God. So that's why they didn't post the callback, is because they've already finalized the A team. Oh my God. You made
Congrats,
it. Yes, you did it. Okay. She made that
over here tearing up like she my child.
Wait, that's the one. I wanted to do this one.
Oh.
I hit the wrong thing.
Yeah, Tate. No, I thought she had one more day too. See, I'm all kind of confusion right now. Yeah, who made it? I didn't even look at the rest of the names. I just looking for Temley Hicks.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
About this in a minute. Elena made it, so her best friend made it. They're in the same class together, so
Oh, nice.
London did. So that's why. Okay, so the names that we thought were missing from 6th grade that were really supposed to be there are on the A team. That's why they weren't on there.
Gotcha. Confusion.
Not have to attend tryouts tomorrow. Oh my God, my heart, y'all. Y'all, it's so different from softball. Like, it's just different world. So, she's never played on a team before. So this is very new.
I'm gonna go upstairs and oh my God, I'm telling everyone.
She said, I'm everyone here. Bye. She just yelled, "Thank you, God." Oh my God. Wow.
Y'all.
Jesus. I'm like unmuting, muting. Like, Jesus, I'm still on book club. Okay. Well, now she doesn't have to go tomorrow, which is good. Okay.
It's so funny. We've talked about Sorry to Be Off 10. We love her. But I just opened up I just opened up my phone and the Black Romance Book Fest, that group. Someone posted asking if there are any activities for 1-day ticket holders. Ma'am.
I know.
I don't know what to like. Your activity is the panels and the book signing.
Right.
I don't.
Tell her to go buy a cart.
And don't faint if you can't. Let me stop. This is being recorded. I actually changed my hotel last night because I needed a few more to keep my whatever platinum whatever status or gold elite whatever I got. So I was like, oh, let me get these 3 nights right quick on Marriott. Huh?
I said you switched over to Marriott.
Yeah. It's paying more money, but it'll keep my status. So I was like, well.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that.
Yep. And I'm getting 5,000 bonus points. So I was like, oh, I'll just do it. And I might get an upgrade. So.
As much as you're about to be in Atlanta, I mean.
But I was talking to one of my friends earlier today because I was like, she lives in New Orleans. I was like, okay, I'm gonna be there Saturday. I'll be there Wednesday and Thursday next week. I'll be there on the 22nd because 27th. Deisha Filia is gonna be there on the 27th. And she was like, oh, I'll be in Atlanta. I was like, oh, well, when you leave in Atlanta, because I'll be there on the 30th. She was like, what are you doing? I'm like, it's all book stuff. All books.
Did I just finish reading Deisha's book?
Church Wives?
No, I didn't. It's the other Deisha, but I have read The Secret Lives of Church Ladies. I like that book.
Oh yeah,
that was a good book.
Does she have a new book out? What is she?
No, it's the other lady. Let me see.
Other Deisha?
Oh,
is that Salisha that showed up?
Pebble, yeah.
It's Sheila Sundar Habitations. It's Sheila Sundar and Deisha. So I was like, well, let me hurry and read.
Oh, okay. I haven't heard of that book.
I've seen it, but I haven't read it.
Have you ever listened to her short stories podcast?
Deisha's? Yeah.
Deisha, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
I love her. She's very interactive too.
For Atlanta people, the author of what is it? Prose to the People. This book, the book that's about the Black
the bookstores.
When I went to the Black Girl Book Fest a few weeks ago, she was talking about, all of her, because she's been doing a lot of tour events. She said that her stop at the Atlanta History Center in June, Daniel Black is going to be the moderator. It's not listed he's not listed as the moderator on their website, but that's what she told me. So of course I'm like, oh well, girl, I have to buy a ticket and go because
What's the date of that again?
I think it's June 12th. It's like in the middle of the week.
Okay.
I wish I could make that.
I can send y'all a link.
Look, I'm like, I'll just come to Atlanta again. That's cool. I think I'm gonna jump because Dolan and Victoria Christopher Murray are talking about Happy Land.
Yeah.
Right now. Is that right now?
Yeah, it's right now.
Yeah.
Renee disappeared.
Yeah, she did. Is that, yeah, they're live right now. Which I haven't read it yet, but I still wanna hear it.
Yeah, I haven't either, but I'm gonna hop on there.
Oh, it's so good. I want to hop over too.
Yeah.
I've read it.
What is that?
Happy Land.
Dolan Perkins Valdez and Victoria Christopher
Happy
Murray are
Land.
talking about Happy Land right now on Dolan's page.
I got that to read this month. I'll listen to the talks after I read it.
I'm gonna listen for a few and see how because they don't do a lot of spoilers kind of stuff. So
yeah.
Let's see.
But Percival Everett is supposed to be doing something live on Facebook.
Right. Any final thoughts? I know we're running a little over time. Get y'all over to that other chat too, and I can go freak out.
Go freak.
Right.
My text messages are like going, I'm still trying to process it right now because in my head, we still had one more day of tryouts. Like the announcement wasn't supposed to come at minimum until tomorrow after tryouts. So like, this just changed everything.
Yeah.
Like, no pickups at school that my mom was like, I'm, going to the book event tomorrow. It just, there's a lot.
I baked some sweet potatoes and I cut up some.
Kayla, you're not on mute. I want some sweet potatoes.
No, right?
That's my sister talking. That's not even me.
Oh.
That's
all right, y'all. I'm gone.
Yeah, well, thank y'all for joining.
All right, thank you, ladies. Have a good night, everybody, and congrats again.
Make sure our next month.
Yes. Bye.